What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning into my channel, Jace's Own World. I appreciate it. I hope you liked the little bit of driving I did in my neighborhood and on the street, as well as the side-to-side little bit of sideways in the dirt, as much as I enjoyed driving that. That was really fun. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my MK7 GTI. Behind me, it's a 2017 base model, but it has a ton of modifications on it. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about all of the modifications that I've done to the car. So let's get right to it. First off, what a beautiful day it is. It's like 70 degrees outside here on a January 13th. Holy moly, it's 3:14 in the afternoon. Beautiful day. This is the desert out here in Arizona in my area. And I decided to bring the car out to this little spot kind of by the house. I have made a video with the modifications that I've done to my MK7 GTI before, but this is going to be an updated video since I have swapped in a new motor taken from a 2019 GTI. This is a 2017. MK7 is this generation. The motor I put into this car is from a MK7.5, but they're all pretty much the same. But since I have put that new motor in, I also have updated some of the parts in my car. And so I'm going to make this new modification list for all of you guys so that you guys can see how fun this car can really be with some modifications. So let's get right to it. As you can see, this car is not stock. This car is a 2017 Volkswagen GTI base model. Base model meaning it did not come with the performance pack brakes or anything like that. They're bone standard brakes for what the GTI is, but they're still red calipers, which is pretty cool, as you can see there and there. This car also does not come with dynamic chassis control, which is also known as DCC. You get those in the Autobahn or other packages that you choose to buy. On a base model GTI, you also do not get a limited slip differential like you do on the upper models, like the Performance Pack and the Autobahn, the SEs and stuff like that. So you have one wheel peel, also known as an open diff. So you are not getting two wheels with traction when you need it. So that is the standard of the car. Let me go ahead and show you all the modifications that I've done to the car. Okay, here is the interior of my MK7 GTI. As you can see, it's pretty standard. I mean, the seats are really nice from the factory. Everything is really nice, but there's not anything crazy going on in the interior itself. But there are a few things which I will mention. So right here, I have a Racing Sphere 100 weighted shift knob right here with Delrin material on the outside so it does not get hot in the summertime. That is a really nice piece. I don't even think racing is in business anymore, which is absolutely crazy. But as far as anything right here, I have a Racing Sphere 100 weighted shift knob to just give that extra feel and a little more weight to the shift knob itself. As I walk around to the other side, right here, this is the OEM steering wheel, but I have wrapped it in an Alcantara little wrap that I bought on AliExpress, and I stitched all that myself. And so that's really nice. It's kind of hard to keep clean, but I do love the grip and everything like that. I love the shape of the steering wheel on this car, so there's really no reason to get rid of the shape of the steering wheel. I just really enjoy it. Going up here, I have these two gauges right here. This one right here is a boost gauge. This one right here is an AFR gauge. They're both from a company called Pro Sport, and this is the JDM series brand right here. Really like it because it gives an analog reading as well as a digital reading, which is really nice. So I recommend that. I've had zero issues with that. I am planning to upgrade those here in the future to a different style, but with the same brand. I really do like the brand. But the things that are not seen are all of my sound system equipment here. So I have down here a 9-band equalizer. Down here I have a little it's called the Flatline 2, which converts the signal and stuff like that, so that I can run all of this equipment on the stock infotainment center here. In the door panels, I have Audison Voce K6, I believe, K6 or K9, but they're Audison Voce component speakers in the doors in the front. In the rear, I have Audison Prima coaxials in the rear door panels just for like sound feel. And then there's actually nothing else in the back. It's all stock back there. But let's get to the trunk here. Open that up, and as you can see, this guy right here, I have a Sundown Audio SA10 Classic subwoofer right here. Really love the sound of this subwoofer. It hits really hard, and it's enclosed in a custom made side trunk box right here that I got a hold of a guy in a different country. He has a shop on eBay, and he made me this according to the specs that I wanted him to make it. And so it really is nice because it's super clean, doesn't take up a lot of space in the trunk or anything like that. I'm not going to open this right here, but underneath the floor panel, I have my two amplifiers, which one of the amplifiers is a mono amplifier that powers the subwoofer right here. And the other amplifier is a 4-channel amplifier that runs power to all the speakers in the rear and the front doors on both sides. That's my sound system there. It sounds really good. I love having sound systems in my car, so that was a must-do when I bought this car. All right, I believe that's actually everything inside the interior of this car. So let's go ahead and shut the trunk door. It's a little dirty after you saw me doing a bit of the driving on the dirt road out there. But on the back, I have my custom plate, MK7. So it's MK, reference to South Park, and then MK7, reference to this generation of GTI, along with a license plate from WiseTech Engineering, license plate holder there. Going down here, I have an ECS tuning rear diffuser, and I absolutely love the look of it. Right here, I have these tips right here. It's actually a stock exhaust. It's a stock muffler and everything. I just have these black tips. I forget who they're made from, but those are my exhaust tips, just to give it a little bit of flair, a little bit of a different look with the blacked out look, because the car is darker and it looks black to some people. So I thought that would be kind of interesting and cool to do. Then I also have this tiny little aesthetic mod for the Volkswagen emblem there. It's the German colors, so that was pretty cool. I have mixed feelings on that one, but it's pretty cool regardless. It gives it a little bit of flair. Let's go on to the side here and talk about the exhaust. So I do have those tips. I said that it is OEM exhaust. Everything is OEM exhaust except for the downpipe that I have in this car, as well as an ECS tuning exhaust cutout that is welded into the 3-inch catless downpipe that I have on this car. So the catless downpipe, which I will show you when I open up the engine bay, but just to tell you, as far as the exhaust is concerned, it's from eBay. It's a Rev 9 downpipe. It's 3 inches. It's catless, and I've literally ran this downpipe since 2018, and I've had no issues with it. The only thing I had to do is take it to a shop and have them weld in new hangers that have mushrooms on the end that fits into the downpipe little hanger rubber grommet portion, so that it's more secure. That's the only thing I've had to do with that downpipe, but other than that, there's no rust, no anything. On that downpipe, I have an ECS tuning cutout, which I have several videos on that on my channel if you want to check that out. Absolutely love it. It dumps literally under here, right there, onto the ground. So it basically dumps right under the seat, right under the passenger seat here. And it shakes and rattles the whole interior, but it's kind of fun. It's enjoyable, and it gives off a different sound than most GTIs give off, because you get a sound coming from the rear of the car. On most GTIs, this one you're getting it from down here, and you can hear the pops and stuff. It's really fun when I'm shifting hard. So that is basically the exhaust. Everything else from the downpipe is 100% stock. Never have changed it, and I like it that way. I don't really care about the weight savings that you would get with another aftermarket exhaust or anything like that. I like it the way it is. It's fine. It's fine for me. Now I think we can go to the side mirrors before we hit up the wheels and tires. The side mirrors, I have ECS Tuning blind spot heated side mirrors right here. They're blue tinted. I really like those because the blind spot in this car can be a little extreme. And so when I got those, I'm having zero issues with cars that are like in this area right here, being able to see them when I want to make a lane turn or something like that. So that's really cool. And then I also bought these sequential turn signals right here, which is really cool because my headlights are also sequential too. So those are sequential and these are sequential. And when I'm turning or when I have my hazards on, it looks really, really cool. The same exact color. And these were actually from Amazon, and they only cost me like 28 bucks. Really cheap, really easy install. Speaking of the sequential, I'm going to go on to the front of the car before we go on to the wheels and tires. And as you can see, these headlights are not stock from a Mark 7 generation. They're actually Mark 7.5 generation style headlights from BMP Tuning. So the best of the best as far as headlights go. I got the Golf R version, so there's no red. If this was a GTI version, there would be red stripes right here. I got the Golf R version, which is just chrome and kind of looks a little more stealthy, which is what I was going for. As far as this one right here, I also have another sticker for the VW emblem. That one's black, so it doesn't match the back, but whatever, right? And then I guess since this is on the outside, I'm going to talk about my front mount intercooler. That is from CTS Turbo. I've been running this front mount intercooler since 2019, I believe, and it has given me no issues. So it's old. I have an IS38 turbo in this car. It holds the power. It really does give me better IATs for the really hot summer months here in Arizona. So that's good. But I am thinking about upgrading that in the future, which I will make a video on if I ever do that. But for right now, it's been great. I've had zero problems, zero issues with this intercooler right here. All right, so I think besides the wheels and the tires, I think that's it on the outside, guys, as far as modifications are concerned. So let's go to these wheels and tires. Let's start with the wheels. These are OZ Racing, or Oz, I don't know how they pronounce it. Oz Racing, OZ Racing, Ultra Ligera HLTs, and they're in like a little satin matte gray color. I absolutely love these wheels. I've had rotiforms in the past. They were 19s, and I just like this style so much better. These are 18s, and the size is 18 by 8. So what I have them wrapped in, meaning what tire I have on it, I have the Firestone Firehawk Indy 500 tires wrapped in 245 40 18s. So let me try to get you a little thing right there. 245 40 18 right there. And that's all around on four corners. I absolutely love these tires. I get really good deals on them, but I just love these wheels too. They look so good on the car, and I just think they're a really, really nice looking wheel. They're lightweight, and they're just perfect for what I like and what I want out of a car. Going on to my brakes now, I have R1 Concepts brakes, the Neogen brake rotors specifically on the front and the rear, and they are drilled and slotted rotors. They're the same size as my base S size rotors were, but these rotors actually stop the car so much better than stock. They're matched with their performance pads from R1 Concepts, so I just really like that about it. It just stops the car so much better. The stock brakes on this car they were okay for the car, but once you start upgrading, you can tell the weak points, and these ones handle the car perfectly. What I have also done to the car is I've upgraded the brake lines to ECS tuning stainless steel brake lines on both the front and the rear. And for brake fluid, I have the RBF, I believe 600 or something like that, RBF 600 brake fluid. So everything as far as brakes are concerned, without going to like a few $1,000 big brake kit, this is perfect for my daily driving. It's just the perfect setup for me. If I ever track the car like super hard, maybe I would probably need bigger brakes, bigger rotors and stuff like that. But for the street, I don't need anything more than that. So it's perfect for me. Last but not least, on the outside, you're not going to be able to see it unless I show you through the wheel well. We're going to talk about the suspension. So I'm going to talk about the suspension that I've ran on this car in a different video that I'm going to make. I'm only going to talk about the suspension that I currently have on this car in this video. And the suspension that I currently have on this car are Coney Yellow Sport struts and dampers for the front and rear. And I matched those up with EMD or Emmanuel Designs lowering springs. There are several reasons why I decided to go that route, but I'll explain that in the other video. But for right now, that's my setup. The Coney Yellows have a lifetime warranty, and Coney, everybody's heard of Coney. They're a very well-known brand, especially in the Japanese world. But oh man, do I love this suspension. Let's see if I can get a little view for you guys in there. I don't know if you can see it, but the yellow, you can see the yellow in there. And on the rear here, you can see the yellow damper back there. Man, I think this suspension is the perfect suspension for the street. I really do. And it's so compliant, it's so good, it's just amazing. But this video is not about the suspension, it's just about what I am running for suspension. That is what I'm running for suspension. If you have any questions about it, leave it in the comments, or you can privately message me on Instagram at Jace's Own World, and we can talk about suspension and what I do and what I don't like about other brands that I've had, and what I do and don't like about this brand. But I'll tell you right now, there's nothing that I don't like about this brand. It's amazing. It's so compliant. It's super smooth. It tracks really well. It's super flat through the corners. Everything is really good. As far as other suspension modifications are concerned, here in the rear, I have a rear sway bar underneath there. As you guys all know, it's in the rear. And this rear sway bar is from 034 Motorsport. I have it on its stiffest setting, which is perfect for my driving style. I love it. Through the corners, I can really feel it being able to rotate through the corner and do a little bit of oversteer, which you probably saw in the video earlier on in this video in the dirt. It likes to rotate, which is really fun. Before I upgraded the rear sway bar, it didn't want to rotate as much. It still wanted to rotate a tiny bit, but it didn't want to rotate that much. So highly recommend an 034 Motorsport rear sway bar, or any rear sway bar in general. Transforms the handling of this car. Connected to that 034 rear sway bar is Moog, M-O-O-G rear end links. I bought those. I didn't want to use the OEM ones. They were actually bad anyway, so I upgraded those to the Moog ones. Not very expensive, but I don't know if it's done anything for the car, but they feel great. I've had zero issues with it. Now we are going to go into the front, and I consider this the last exterior mod. It's not really an exterior mod, it's a drivetrain mod. Just like the suspension, I consider it kind of more drivetrain because it handles the car. But this mod I recently have done on the car, and it is the WaveTrack LSD. What an amazing difference this car feels like from that mod. It wants to rotate through corners, and it holds a corner. It wants to go inside and do a little bit of oversteery instead of before I installed the WaveTrack LSD and I only had an open diff. It wanted to understeer through a corner so bad it was annoying. Now having the WaveTrack LSD has really transformed the car into I want it to be as far as a handling car, and it's absolutely amazing. Highly recommend the WaveTrack LSD. Okay, I think we're all done with the interior and the exterior and I guess the drivetrain. Now let's head on into the engine bay, the sweet spot. This is my engine bay here, folks. And it might not look like much, but there is a crap ton inside this engine bay that I'm probably going to forget things that I've done to this engine bay that I've done. And so let me just start here. I'm going to pull off the engine cover here, and I love how easy it is to pull off the engine cover. And I'm going to talk about actually a little bit about my suspension here. This is an upgrade that I decided to do when I had a coilover set that also had a camber kit on it. And if you know, with these cars, when you open this part up, this is the suspension right here, okay? This is where it bolts to the top. Well, this hole right here is probably an inch less in diameter. And so it's really small. So when you have suspension with camber plates and stuff like that, you're not able to actually adjust your camber plates because that hole is so small from the factory. So I asked my buddy if he would be able to fabricate me the hole to be a little bigger. And so he did this on both sides and it looks literally OEM. We bought paint and we painted it after he made the hole, and it looks absolutely perfect. So that is a hidden mod that not many people know about, but something that I absolutely love about this car in general, because it gives you more options. If you want to go like a different suspension route with camber plates and all that stuff, you can actually adjust them up there, which is really cool. Moving on, I'm gonna probably work my way on the left to the middle and then to the right here. So onto the left, I have engine mount and transmission mount. They're both from CTS Turbo. They're the street performance ones, and I absolutely love them. I can feel that there is like no play with the engine when I get on it, where before I put these mounts on, well, mostly because my OEM mounts, which I had on before, were a little shot and they had some cracks in them and stuff. I could feel that the engine was moving just a tiny bit when I would get on the gas. Now there's zero movement. So I absolutely love that. And they have not actually even introduced any more NVH that the car already has. So that's a plus. Onto my alternator here. This is an upgraded alternator. I don't remember what the amperage is. It's either 250 or 240 amps, but it's quite a bit more over stock. And the reason why I upgraded the alternator is because of my big sound system in the car. I'm running thousands of watts in the car, so I wanted to get this. This alternator is made from Power Bastards, and I've had zero issues with it, despite how many people online say negative things about Power Bastards. I've had zero issues, so I actually like this unit. It's a plug and play. You don't have to splice any wires or anything. It's pretty amazing. Onto the serpentine belt. It's an ECS tuning serpentine belt, which is in red, and I think it's just a nice little aesthetic mod for that. Going into the front is the charge pipe or throttle pipe that connects to the throttle body and then down to the front mount intercooler. That is a Spoolin throttle pipe, so it's aftermarket. Really enjoy that. I've had no issues with that. Going up into the ignition coils and the spark plugs. These ignition coils came with this new motor that I bought that was used from another guy, and I think the guy who owned the Mark 7.5 GTI before, I don't know if he wrecked the car or not, but I think he actually had it a little bit modified, and so these came on the car. I think they're the RS3 red tops. I've had no issues with those since I have installed the motor. I've had no misfires or anything, so everything is good. Underneath that are the spark plugs, and they are the NGK one-step coulter spark plugs. They're really good. Like them. I've used them for years and I've had no issues. Moving on to the PCV, specifically this part right here that connects from the PCV to the inlet pipe of the turbo. That is an ECS tuning unit right there. As you can see, the factory one is all plastic and everything, and it just was leaking all the time, like right here and then also right here. So I upgraded that a few years ago, and I've had 0 leaks with that, which is pretty awesome. Moving on to the intake itself, I have the ECS tuning intake hose right here that connects to the inlet of the turbo and then to the intake box right here. So that's just, in my opinion, just a nice little aesthetic mod. But I do run this stock intake right here. I've run it the entire time that I've had this car and I've had no issues. The only thing that I've done to it is inside I have a K&N drop-in filter, and I've used that same K&N drop-in filter since 2017 when I actually replaced the OEM filter, and I just recharge it with the oil spray and clean it out, you know, probably once every 6 months, and it's good to go. It's never given me any issues. With the intake also, I have done this little mod, which looks pretty ghetto, but this is literally the first mod that I have ever done on this car. From the factory, only this side comes with these little grates, and so I just copied that side and put it on this side and did the best that I could back in 2017 with a little Dremel, and I made this. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because from the factory also, this intake part, it's all the way passed through, but this intake part that literally goes right into the intake is blocked off for some reason. I do not know. So I also dremeled out the inside of this, and then I was like, I need to do this because the air is going to come up here and then up through here and then inside here when the hood is closed. So it's just giving the intake a little bit more air. I don't know if I've seen any performance gains or any gains as far as throttle response or anything like that, but I did that. It was a fun little mod. It cost me literally nothing, so that was pretty cool. Going over to this, I have an upgraded windshield washer fluid tank. I just bought that and just installed that, so that is perfect and good to go. Right here, actually, I have a Precision Raceworks boost tap, and the 2 ports that are running to this boost tap are, this one is running to my boost gauge that's inside the car that you saw, and then this one's running right here and along there, and that's for my exhaust cutout. That goes down to my exhaust cutout. It's all vacuum actuated, so those are the 2 things that I use with the boost tap there. Coming over to this side, I think this is the only thing that's upgraded from the factory, and this is the battery. I got this battery from Walmart, and it's a bigger version that comes in the Mark 7.5. So Mark 7.5 GTIs and Rs come with a bigger battery than the Mark 7 GTIs and Rs do. And so since everything is literally similar and the battery tray is exactly the same in both the Mark 7 and Mark 7.5s, I decided to get the bigger battery to handle all the power and stuff that I have in the car with my sound system and everything, and it's worked out flawlessly. I've had no issues. I think the last thing before I head to the turbo and the tuning portion of this video is this right here. This might look a little weird to you, but this is what we call the Big 3 power upgrade, and a lot of people that do the Big 3 power upgrade do this when they have sound systems in their car, just so that the sound system is getting clear power and the system is running efficiently. So I've upgraded that, which is this one wire here. There's another one from the block to the chassis down here, and then there's another one from the alternator to the power of the battery terminal right here, which you can see right here. So that's the Big 3, and I've done that. Now let's get to one of the funnest parts of the modifications, and that is the turbo, which is right there. That is the turbo. As you can see, that's my downpipe that I talked about earlier. This is my turbo. This is an OEM IS38 upgrade. The IS38 comes from the Golf R. It's a standard turbo in the Golf R on the Mark 7 and Mark 7.5s. But The engines are practically the same, and you can do a lot of swapping out of parts on this car between the GTI and the Golf R. And since the Golf R has more power from the factory because it runs a bigger turbo and different tuning, you can upgrade these parts. So I have an IS-38 turbo that is OEM, that is normally used in the Golf R. It gives you a lot more power, it gives you a lot more mid-range and top end power specifically, which is really fun. But I absolutely love this turbo. I've been running it for like 6 years, and I've had the same exact tuner on it the entire time. So that's pretty cool. Other than that, that's just what the turbo is. There's a lot of turbo options for this car, which is really cool. As far as the tuning is concerned, I am custom tuned through a person named Frank Mabo, and we use the Eurodyne Maestro platform. So we do remote tuning, and I have made several different tunes through him, and I love every single tune on the car that he's made, and I highly recommend him as a tuner. I think that's literally all of the modifications that I have on my Mark 7 GTI. As far as fluids are concerned, in my transmission I run Motul gear fluid, and that is what's recommended with the WaveTrack LSD. So that's what I use. It's perfect. The only down that I have about the Motul is when it's really cold, it's really difficult to get into second gear sometimes. But when the gear fluid actually heats up, it goes into the gears just fine, every single gear. But when it's cold, it is a little more notchy, a little more difficult to get into gear, specifically second gear. That's the only down that I think about that fluid. Other than that, absolutely love it. As far as engine oil is concerned, I always run Motul engine oil in this car. That's the only brand that I really use. I have used liquid moly in the past, specifically the Moly Gen, but I think the Motul oil is just better. I think the car runs smoother, and yeah, I just like it better. That's just my personal opinion. But that's it, guys. What do you guys think? Lots of mods on this car. I really wish you guys had the opportunity to drive this car, because it is absolutely amazing to drive. It is so fun. Nothing feels like stock on this car. It feels and sounds completely modified, which is just really fun. So there you have it, guys. That's my modification list. I hope you like this video. If you have any questions about the modifications that I have done to this video, go ahead and put a comment in the comment box, or you can message me at Jason's Own World on Instagram. I respond a lot faster to those ones because they seem more one-on-one, and we can get a little more personal in those if that's something that you're looking for. But if you're not looking for that, you know, just go ahead and throw a like or a comment or a subscribe onto my channel. I'd really appreciate it. I got more videos coming. I'm absolutely loving this car. I love driving it now, so I'm hoping to get more driving videos for you guys so that you can enjoy the drive as much as I am. I appreciate all of your support that you've done for me and my channel, and I'm glad we can help each other out and enjoy our rides together. Until the next video, guys, peace.